For more than 6 decades, the Rolling Stones have been the embodiment of rock and roll swagger, the loudest, boldest, and most unstoppable band in music history. But behind their legendary success lies a storm of personal tensions, bruised egos, and old wounds that never fully healed. Now, at 87, former bassist Bill Wyman has finally opened up about what really went on behind the scenes. And why, after all these years, so many people in the band could barely stand Mick Jagger. To fans, Mick Jagger is the ultimate rock frontman, charismatic, energetic, and impossible to ignore. His voice, his stage presence, and his attitude define generations. But to those who worked closest with him, Jagger's relentless ambition and iron-fisted control often turned admiration into frustration. Mick always had to be in charge, Wyman recently admitted. He was brilliant, no doubt, but he could make everyone around him feel small. Bill Wyman joined the Rolling Stones in 1962 and played with the band for more than 30 years. During that time, he witnessed Jagger's transformation from a cheeky London blues singer into a global superstar. But fame changed everything. The bigger the Stones became, the more controlling Mick became, not just about the music, but about every aspect of the band's image and business. He wanted to run everything, Wyman explained. He was the singer, but he acted like he was the manager, the producer, even the accountant. It wore us down. According to Wyman, Jagger's obsession with control often clashed with the other members, especially Keith Richards. Their creative partnership gave the world classics like Angie, Brown Sugar, and Start Me Up. But behind the scenes, the two men were at war. Wyman recalled countless shouting matches, broken friendships, and long stretches when Mick and Keith wouldn't even speak off stage. They loved each other like brothers, Wyman said. But brothers fight harder than anyone else. For Wyman, the constant tension became unbearable. He described Mick as a man who could be charming one moment and coldly dismissive the next. He could make you feel like you didn't matter, Wyman revealed. If you disagreed with him, he'd freeze you out. It was his way or nothing. Wyman also hinted that Jagger's relationships, both romantic and professional, were often driven by ego. Mick needed to be adored, he said. He fed on it. But it's exhausting being around someone who always has to be the center of attention. Even members of the Stones' road crew and production staff reportedly struggled to deal with Jagger's moods and demands. He was a perfectionist, Wyman said, but sometimes perfection turns into control. By the late 1980s, the cracks in the band were impossible to ignore. Wyman felt disconnected, overshadowed, and creatively stifled. When he finally left the Stones in 1993, he described the decision as liberating. "I needed peace," he said. The drama never stopped. Mick wanted everything his way. Even after 30 years, it never changed. Yet despite the bitterness, Wyman still respects Jagger's genius. "He's one of a kind," he admitted. "You can't take that away from him." The band wouldn't have become what it is without his drive. But that same drive made it hard for anyone to stay close to him. As the Stones continued to tour into their 80s, the complicated legacy between Mick Jagger and his former bandmates remains. Behind the smiles and the rock anthems lies a story of power, ego, and survival, of men bound together by music but divided by personality. When asked if he and Mick ever made peace, Wyman gave a bittersweet smile. "We're civil," he said. But some things never really heal. You can't change who Mick is, and that's both his greatest gift and his greatest curse. In the end, Bill Wyman's confession reveals the truth fans always suspected. Mick Jagger's brilliance made him unforgettable, but it also made him impossible to live with. And for the men who stood beside him for decades, that was both the price and the pain of being part of rock's most enduring band.